could you let this happen again? In this condition? Are you trying to kill me?
Mama, stop it. It wasn't intentional. I don't know what to do.
The first thing Maura learned about hunger was that it did not always announce itself. Sometimes it arrived quietly, through the sound of her younger brother's stomach growling in the middle of the night. Sometimes it came disguised as discipline, when her mother insisted everyone had eaten enough even though the pot was empty. Other times, it showed itself in the way Lena chewed slowly, pretending she was full so the twins could have more. Hunger lived with them. So did silence. Their father's death did not feel real at first. It happened too suddenly, too cleanly. One morning he was adjusting his shirt collar, complaining about the heat, promising to bring bread on his way back. By evening, his body lay still, and the house filled with strangers whose voices carried sympathy instead of solutions. After the burial, people stopped coming. Life did not. Bills arrived on time. Hunger did not miss appointments. School fees showed no respect for grief. Ruth cried loudly for weeks. Then quietly. Then not at all. Maura watched her mother change, not overnight, but slowly, like something rotting from the inside. The woman who used to wake before dawn to prepare food now stayed in bed longer. The roadside provision shop that once held order began to look careless. Money slipped through Ruth's fingers as if it offended her to keep it. Men started appearing. At first, they came as comfort. Then distraction. Then habit. Maura noticed early that her mother laughed more with men than with her own children. She also noticed that someone had to fill the gaps. So she did. By 13, she could cook a full meal without asking questions. By 15, she could bargain with shop owners. By 16, she knew how to speak to adults in ways that made them take her seriously. By 18, she stopped feeling like a child at all. Lena watched her closely. Lena was the kind of girl who noticed details. How her mother avoided eye contact when money was mentioned. How Maura counted notes twice before handing them over, how the twins learned to ask their sister for things before their mother. Noah and Nia still believed adulthood meant protection. Maura knew better. She took the bad job first. It was degrading but manageable. The pay was small, but it covered transport and sometimes food. When it wasn't enough, the club filled the space. She hated the club. She hated the lights, the hands, the assumptions. She hated how men spoke to her as if she were something rented. She hated the way shame clung to her skin long after she got home. But she loved seeing her siblings eat. She loved watching Lena study without panic. She loved knowing the twins would not be sent home for unpaid fees. So she endured. Her mother never asked. Not once did Ruth look at her and say, "This money is heavy. Where are you carrying it from?" When Maura paid Lena's WAC registration fee, Ruth only nodded. When the twins' school demanded new uniforms, Ruth complained about expenses instead of thanking her daughter. And when Ruth announced she was getting married again, Maura felt hope bloom despite herself. Maybe now, someone else would shoulder responsibility. Maybe now, she could rest. The man moved in quietly, as if sneaking into the house. He brought appetite, noise, and nothing else. No contribution. No concern. No sense of duty. The house felt smaller. Then Ruth became pregnant. The news landed in Maura's chest like a betrayal. That night, Maura finally spoke. "How?" she asked, her voice shaking despite her effort to stay calm. "How do you bring another child into this house when I'm already carrying everyone?" Ruth's eyes hardened. "So now you are questioning me," she snapped. "Have you forgotten you are the child here?" Maura laughed once, bitterly. "I stopped being a child a long time ago." Ruth slapped her. It wasn't the pain that broke Maura. It was the injustice. That night, Mora sat alone in the dark and realized something terrifying. She was giving her life to people who felt entitled to it. The offer came soon after. Auntie K spoke smoothly, as if rehearsed. Travel. Abroad. Short stay. Rich men on vacation. 10 million naira. Mora asked questions. Where exactly? Why land travel? Why no documents? Auntie K laughed. Told her she was smart, but not too smart. Mora hesitated. Then she went home and saw Lina asleep over her books, the twins sharing one blanket, and her mother rubbing her pregnant belly without worry. She said yes. She told Ruth she was traveling for better work. Ruth smiled. Said God was faithful. Did not ask where. The journey stripped illusion layer by layer. Phones taken. Borders crossed. Smiles vanished. Guards replaced guides. By the time they reached Libya, Mora already knew. This was not work. This was a trap. Girls disappeared. Screams became routine. Fear was constant. Mora survived by observing. She memorized patterns. Watched guards. Counted steps. She whispered plans to one girl, Celine, who listened with the same quiet determination. One night, chaos broke loose. Mora ran. They ran until their lungs burned, until blood stained their feet, until fear became secondary to survival. They were found days later, alive, broken, but breathing. Coming home did not feel like victory. It felt like survival with scars. The house looked smaller. Ruth looked older. Lina cried when she saw her. The twins clung to her as if she might vanish again. Ruth fell to the floor, apologizing too late. Mora listened. She forgave slowly. Healing was not instant. Trauma lingered. Trust rebuilt unevenly. But Mora lived. Lina went to university. The twins stayed in school. Ruth learned silence can destroy. The house still stands. And so does Mora. Not unbroken. But unburied. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and share. Also follow for more interesting stories.